Welcome to another episode of Wife, and we all know that stands for Why Isn't Forever Easy? We have a special guest in the house today. We have a man in the house. A man, y'all. Rick, and he is the husband of Ariana. And we have him here because we are talking to the fellas today. The topic is, for the single fellas, top 10 reasons she might not be the one. So we're all going to chime in, and Rick is our resident expert on today. So let's start out because we only got 10 minutes. Our topic today, like I said, the top 10 reasons she might not be the one. So let's talk about some of the reasons. I'm just going to call out a few, and then you can start chiming in. Anybody can chime in. What's one of the reasons you think that she might not be the one?
I think there are a lot of signs when you first meet someone that tells you that she's not the one. If her level of anger is equal or exceeds yours, she may not be the one. If she becomes violent, if she begins cursing, if she has reckless abandonment for everything, especially your stuff, she might not be the one.
Anybody else want to chime in?
He was serious about that thing.
There are signs. There are signs. You just have to open your eyes and see them.
Okay. One of the reasons. Oh, go ahead, Alicia.
I think that a typical sign that she might not be the one is if she's called you 20 times in one day.
How do you feel about that?
Absolutely. It doesn't have to be 20. If she called you 5 times in one day, before you have responded to any of those calls, she might not be the one.
Yes.
That is a tendency.
Okay.
That's men that like women that check in.
Well,
yeah, she could be checking in.
if you respond to that check-in, that's different. But if
Okay.
she's checking in and checking in and checking in and checking in, and you hadn't responded to any of those,
But what if she's worried about you? You could have been in an accident and you didn't respond. She said, let me make sure Rick ain't in an accident.
At what level is our relationship for her to worry
Oh, see,
about
that's
me?
I was about to ask you that. How long y'all
If I
been
can make sure that you worried about me, that she might not be the one.
Okay, another thing that we talked about before, and I like what you said, and I want you to elaborate on it, if your girl has another dude name tattooed on her neck, she might not be the one.
Or her torso. I mean, really.
Okay, you want to talk about that?
I just think that speaks to who she is as a person. And not to say there's anything bad with tattoos. I myself have a few and my wife have a few, but you have to be selective on what you do and where you do it.
Let me ask you, what if, she just knew she was going to be with you for the rest of her life? And she was that secure that she was going to be with you for the rest of her life. And she put your name, that's how much she loved you.
You know what? I believe I would not ask anyone to do anything that I wouldn't do. At what age are we talking? Are we talking early 20s? At the early 20s, you do not know that you're going to be with somebody for the rest of your life.
There are some cuckoos that believe.
Then that is a sign.
I don't think that
That's one of those signs.
anybody at any age knows that they're going to be with somebody for the rest of their lives.
Okay, well, we got husband and wife right here, so we're going to talk about it. Would you're married to him, would you get your name tattooed on his neck? Tattooed on your neck, I mean?
I wouldn't do it on my neck.
But you would do it somewhere else.
Like him.
So that's cool.
Well, I think the difference is right now she and I are married. We consider ourselves to be stable. We do see longevity in our relationship. So I think if that is something that I would ask of her and if that's something I'm willing to do myself, then I think it would be appropriate. But if I just met you and then you've been kicking it for a year and all of a sudden I say, hey, why don't you go get my name tatted on, and I have no commitment level to you whatsoever, then that speaks about who you
And
are.
on your neck. You get a tattoo like, but on your neck, I mean, don't you want a job or don't you have goals?
Maybe for me, I try not to know that I want to venture out on things, and so there's certain things I wouldn't do, and I think that speaks to the person's character. That's all you are when people look at you.
Professionalism also.
Maturity.
Am I just going to be the stripper in the club, or am I looking to be a project manager in a corporation? And at that level, is that where I want to go?
Right.
And as far as a man choosing me,
what is my man?
I don't have not one tattoo, and I used to be a stripper in the club now. Come on now.
And see, that's the thing. I'm not. I don't condone strippers, nor do I. I would say this. You know, I don't knock anybody's hustles. I think what it speaks to is your level of commitment. You being tatted across your neck is not a sign that you're going to be with somebody for the rest of your life. So if I'm running across a young lady and I'm looking to be in a relationship with her, and I'm seeing that, I look a little deeper into who she is as a person because of what that may have meant at that moment in her life, and I may not necessarily like that. You know, once I start deep.
I agree. Plus, you got to look at that every time you talk to her. And what if you fall in love with her? You're like, oh, Teresa. And you see that every time you do that.
Yeah.
Okay. Also, let's move on to another one. What about? And I thought about this one, and you can tell me if you agree from a man perspective. She dresses better than her house looks. And I say that because, say every time you see her, she is fly, cute, and everything, but then you go home and her house is a mess. Not necessarily a mess, because we all get messy, but just, it's like, it doesn't match the person she is on the outside, her house, her cleanliness, her, just everything. What do you think about that? Because, I mean, if she can't make her house look like a home, she's, to me, it's like an outer shell. You know what I'm saying? She got it together on the outside, but maybe not on the inside.
I call it faking it to make it.
What you think, Greg?
I think that's real sensitive, and surrounded by these women, I'm a little nervous to touch on that. But I think that speaks volume again to if you're looking to be into someone. If I'm okay, if I'm a dude and I'm going through that point of my life where I'm just kicking it, then I'm not necessarily making note of that to where it's that important. Mm-hmm. But if I'm being selective as to someone who I want to be with, then of course I think that's very important. If you see someone who's all about flash and then you go home and her house is messy, that means to me that there's no substance. You can't take care of where you are and you can't take care of yourself.
Right. Well, we're not talking about the messy part, but what if you go, like, say, every time you see her, she got her Louis Vuitton or she just, whatever, and then you get home and
she live in
her
projects.
mattress, she don't have a headboard.
I think that's the same thing. I'm not necessarily saying clothes all around the house, but just stuff not orderly. You know what I'm saying? And it doesn't, like you said, meet the level of the person that you expected when you first met this person.
You know, there's one
So
comment.
there's a lot of people that do that.
There's one comment.
Men and women.
Oh, that was funny to me, girl. No headboard.
Okay, let's go on to another because we only got a few minutes left. Okay, what about Angela's husband? We were talking about this earlier. He said one of the reasons you know a girl is not the one, everybody in the club know her name. All dudes in the club know her name. It's kind of like a sign, I guess she's been around. What you think?
I think that is so true. The first thing, if you go to introduce your girl and they know your girl before you can introduce her, it's a feeling in you as a man, like, wow, okay, what's next? You know? Yeah, that's not a good thing.
Okay. Another one we put, I don't know, I think you might have said this one, Rick. Her best pair of shoes are Air Jordan.
I think every man, I mean, it's true. You want a woman who can have that little tomboyish because you want to be able to share in things, but you also want a woman who has a softer side. And if she doesn't know how to get soft and wear a pair of heels and a dress and wear some makeup and hair, then I mean, it may not necessarily be the one for you.
Okay. Anybody else? We got a couple minutes left. Anybody else want to add? She might not be the one.
If she don't comb her hair and, get herself together. I mean, personal hygiene is like key. You ain't got to go all to the nail shop and all that. Sometimes you just need to sit down, put your feet in a foot tub and scrub their legs. I mean, I just think that women should take care of themselves and not just to be somebody's woman, but that should be your everyday, I'm going to take care of me, period.
Right.
And you should be able to see that.
For me, I think on a serious note, it's choosing a woman. If they're selfish, I think that builds into the character of that woman and what their relationship and how far that relationship can go.
Okay, yeah, we did have selfish on there as well. But we have to wrap it up. It has been a very good discussion. We probably could go on and on, but we want to thank you for tuning in to Wife and look out for the top 10 reasons single ladies, he might not be the one. Thank you. We'll see you